I'm going to keep my strap folded now. And I'm going to take my hands a little bit more narrow than shoulder width behind. Palms face back. And just simply stand, reach down, move the heart up. And where you'll arrive is a place that looks similar to this. I want you to imagine the floor underneath the pelvis and how your legs lift away and how your shoulders move, lifting arms toward the ceiling. The ceiling is behind you. Can you lengthen the tailbone down? Can you stand with your feet hip width apart? We'll change that in just a bit. Can you begin to invite the arms away from the back body, right? If the floor was underneath your pelvis, you'd be lifting the shoulders. And can your neck stay neutral? That means you have to lift your gaze. That same shape feels very different here against gravity. But while your gaze is lifted and while you have a sense of where you are on, what is working for you, I want you to consider stepping your feet to the midline and noticing how that is different. There's more to be said in that constant recalibration of where you are in space. Now, take the time to step one leg back. And it doesn't have to be a huge distance that your feet have from each other, but keeping the legs straight, notice the willingness of the upper spine. And I know the shoulders are having a deep stretch and they're really telling you about it. Exhale and begin to fold. Firm the legs. Come in a line with the back leg, right? Take the arms any amount further. So remember, our yoga drills could be a coming and going, adding load, adding weight, or adding time. So here we are. Come any amount further. Certain muscles are stretching in your shoulders that continue to stretch, but the workload changes just a little bit. How high the arms go changes what comes to support. Where's that load? Now, if you will, lower the arms and find one block and place it ahead. So if you'll place the block ahead and think about the arm that belongs to the back leg, that is the arm that goes to it. From here, if you will, that loop, you're in a position to put the loop back. And as you put the loop underneath your foot, the front foot, take the strap in hand, arm that belongs to the front leg, and take it out to the side. So we're not turning yet. Stay one more breath. We're just strengthening the back of the shoulder. We have one more place to go. I want to take the strap now and give myself a break. I'm going to bring it across. And so the front hand gets to hold the strap while I make the transition, and then I catch it behind me. So where I end up returning when I put that front hand back in its place is that now the arm that was out to the side reaches behind and it catches the strap. And now we can keep walking the hand along the strap and turn. So we get to keep the spine long. We get to play with the distance between our feet now. You can wiggle your feet a little wider if you want. The back heel needs to stay anchored, the spine long. And I hope your shoulders find that this feels like a recovery. Stay one more breath. As you inhale, come upright, come unwinding, bend in the front knee, take the arms to the front, keep them just under shoulder height lift. I hope you feel now that your front leg is recovering. And how the back leg turns on because the front leg is responding to the strap. The back leg is Being reminded, oh yeah, I'm the one in charge. And switch. Strap in hand. Here's where we were. The other leg is going to get its turn, but for now, here we are with symmetry, reminding the body, oh, Shalabhasana, locust pose. We have a similar shape that feels way different from here. As you exhale, step the other leg back. Keep your gaze lifted. Notice where you can go. And as you exhale next, come on in. Make any adjustments. And as you make your way with slow increments of change, incorporating breath, please find lifting the arms. You'll surprise yourself. Maybe this time you will find that the arms find this a recovery. The legs are on. Front spine lengthens. As you exhale next, lower the arms. Place the strap underneath, the loop underneath the front foot. If your right leg is the back leg, the right arm holds the block way ahead of you. And the front leg has the strap. The arm that tugs away is out to the side. We haven't started twisting yet. Just breathe. The Yoga Sutras of Patanjali are aphorisms, they're verses. They give us great direction in our practice and in life. They show us how to use our yoga. Here, if you are ready, pass the strap to the other hand, bring the front leg arm behind you to catch it, return the hand that was at the block, begin to turn any amount. Begin to wiggle the legs. But there are other yogic texts, and from the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, a verse that tells us to connect mind chatter to our breath awareness. That when the breath is affected, when it collapses, when it is sabotaged, the mind is wandering. And so if we focus on the breath, then the mind chatter ceases and things quiet, and the nervous system quiets and the body quiets. And so they're both pointing us in the same direction in how to use our practice. And that just doesn't have to mean at a point of meditation. Granted, that's the way we get to refine it here. Come out of this twist, bend in the front knee, take the arms ahead and lift. But the reminder is to return to breath. So notice this lift, how the back leg responds. Where there is engagement. And how it is empowering to put your mind on the actions of the body. Right? This felt sense of strength. Right? Lastly, step the feet together, and please do this. I want to adjust with my loop, and typically we've done this in a myriad of ways, but today we're keeping it simple. I'm moving the loop so that I'm stepping into it with my heel. And then I am putting the other heel into the loop, and I am putting my hands to catching that strap behind me. And I'm gonna reclaim that same shape. Oh, wow, I get to come into Shalabhasana and have a different leverage pattern that helps me to feel how the lower body uses the ground and how everything else responds. So here, it would be really easy to just jut your pelvis forward. And what I'm asking you to do is to use this to train. All I want to do is to move the upper rib cage forward and up. I want to keep the lower back still and safe and strong. So everything is trying to stay engaged for the sake of stability, while just the upper body responds. Sometimes we can do Shalabhasana and we get to just be working the upper body while the legs stay still, while the pelvis stays still, right? Now we get to try that shape in a restorative manner, all right? So here we go. And I'm gonna give you some options. If you will, come on, sit back. Come on and fold. Walk your hands out, bend in your knees, reclaim that sitting posture from this deep squat position, and then make your way to the floor. We can have a supported back bend in more than one way. If you will, consider your two blocks, how you're going to give yourself a shelf and how you're going to give your head a landing space. The first shelf is for my shoulder blades, and the second shelf is for my head. And if what you find is that you want to turn either of those blocks lower or higher, please do that. But some of you prefer different options of adding height and adjusting for the sake of the neck, or just having a slightly different support. So if you'll see, I set up my bolster with that exact same setup, and the blanket can be added in any way. So all of these ways to arrive at that similar intention to support the opening of the front body. Once you land in that space that is yours, once it becomes a comfortable seat, then consider extending the legs. The stability allows you to settle in and feel stillness. We'll stay here for a minute. You are welcome to ignore me and stay longer. In using this pose, it is wise to transition with awareness and with care to appreciate the time spent. So as you come off your prop, come to the floor, and you are welcome to just take on Shavasana now as you wish. But take time to feel the release that happened because of all your attention to your practice today. It's not just moving through the work, but how you put your mind on it. Knees to the chest. Roll to your side. Come up and sit. Sit with ease. Return your hands to your heart. Acknowledge your practice. Seal your practice. Thank you for your presence. Namaste.